lot of government expenditure put a lot of pressure on. So there is one other factor that's worth mentioning, because the government, you're right, is wanting to get to a point where it saves again. By that I mean running a surplus. So we ran an $18 billion surplus last year, largely the Christchurch earthquake, but a fair bit there. We're $9 billion this year. By 2014-15 we're on track to be back in surplus. Now some people will argue, well, you should just keep spending money. That will see our
deficits you're talking about.
They're our deficits. So our debt to GDP levels by then will top it just under about 30%. In other words, we'll be relatively lowly indebted compared to countries like America and Europe. But I'd put it to you, we're a small open economy, we have high levels of private sector debt, mum and dad have borrowed that debt effectively from foreigners because their local bankers sourced that from foreigners. Does New Zealand want to be in a position where it's highly indebted? We have to pay for the Christchurch earthquake and we have to pay for the recession, and we've done that.
There's a wider focus in that though, surely, and you're saying, do we want to be indebted? You know, if you look at that the Reserve Bank statement again, it continues to say that because you're so wedded to this surplus, essentially it will stifle the economy.
Well, let's go back to the very place you started. So, you know, I want to leave New Zealand in better shape than I found it. Personally, I think if I got hit by a bus this afternoon, I would have left New Zealand in better shape than I found it. Because 4 years on, there are a lot of stats I could point to which show that this country is in better shape. Everything from a falling crime rate right through to an increase in education levels, whether it's at ECE or whatever. But the point is, and I accept that, I'm not saying things are perfect, but I'm saying when you're the government of the day and when you're the Prime Minister of the day, you deal with the conditions you inherit. There happens to be a global financial crisis, earthquakes in Christchurch, these various other issues.